Welcome to 2023. I have my old bullet journal. We're going to say goodbye and welcome in my new bullet journal. Let's get started. A new bullet journal and a new year is a way to reflect upon how I've been using my bullet journal for the past year and what I can change to make it more effective for me personally. Usually my bullet journal setups are very minimal and simplistic, just to have something that's not too overwhelming to sort of jump into right at the beginning. As I was flipping through last year's bullet journal, I noticed a lot of things that weren't used or weren't as functional as they could be, and so I took note of those as I was going through. And when I was sort of designing what I wanted the setup for this journal to be, I noticed that I definitely did want there to be some sort of calendar at the very beginning as the first page, and that's very useful for me to look back on when I need to see what day something is and I don't want to reach for my phone. On the right, you can see that I have a page from an old bullet journal where I just sort of brainstormed what I wanted the setup for this journal to look like. I chose a calm color palette composed mostly of cool colors, except for yellow, because yellow is such a cheery color to me. And then I chose flowers, sort of these doodly little flowers, for the actual theme, if you will, which I think is great because there's a metaphor about growth in there somewhere. I've noticed that lately a lot of bigger bullet journal YouTubers have stopped bullet journaling, and a lot of the reason why was that they were spending too much creative energy making an artistic work instead of a functional planner. And so as I was setting up these spreads, I wanted to consider what can I add to this journal that makes it something that's custom and designed for me, which is the aspect of bullet journaling that I really care for. Personally, I don't mind spending a little bit of time making intricate spreads because it's an excuse to set aside and just draw for a bit and still feel very productive, which I like, sort of sneaking that little break into my day. But at the same time, I don't want to pressure myself to create or sort of perform for an algorithm. And so those are the two things that I'm keeping in mind as I'm beginning this new bullet journal, is making this more functional for me and making sure that it's not solely a creative endeavor that doesn't have an actual impact on my daily life. Fortunately for me, I think those two goals come together and I can have a happy balance, which is what I'm looking for when it comes to bullet journaling. And this calendar spread, the first page of my new bullet journal, I think is a great start to finding that balance. And yes, I put a transition there because I did not want to make you watch me write 365 numbers out. This next spread is a Bible verse, and at the beginning of my bullet journal last year I had a Bible verse, and it ended up being sort of a mantra for that entire year, and so this year I definitely chose a verse with a lot of care, and this was the verse I came up with. I really enjoy making a full quote page and sort of messing around with calligraphy and different lettering styles, and that's something I want to incorporate more this year. Also, where are my proverb girlies at? Because I know y'all love that book as much as I do. The heart in the center of the verse didn't turn out exactly how I expected it to. It looked a little bit better in my head, but overall I'm still pretty happy with the layout of this verse. I brought my kneaded eraser in to erase all of the underlying sketch, and let me just say, if you can buy one art supply, if that's your budget, please buy yourself a kneaded eraser. They are so useful. Now that I'm looking back at the process of creating this spread, I'm wishing that I would have just stopped right now and not colored it, because I think the colors actually took away from it a bit, but overall I still am pleased with the end result. I'm curious, would you have colored it or not? I tried to fix it here, but I think I actually just made it worse, and I'm glad we're moving on. For this part, I made a goals spread for my big resolutions that I want to do in 2023, and I filled out the actual rest of it off camera, but I will show what I did in the end flip through. These last two spreads are very simple. One of them is a new thing that I've never tried before, and that is a highlights of the year. So what I'm going to try to do is each month, at the end of the month, draw one little doodle that I believe sort of captures the best moment from that month. And at the end, I'll have a cute collection of a dozen doodles that capture 2023. This next spread is the last of my setup spreads, and it is a journal wrap-up. I copied the design of it almost exactly from my 2022 journal, and that is okay because it looks cute. I did, however, add a flower, and this was actually the only little doodly flower that I was able to include in this setup. I might go back and add some more because it's so pretty and it is a bummer to not use them. And that concludes our 2023 bullet journal setup. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have some neat plans for this year. And I have some very exciting things coming soon, so can't wait to show y'all those. Have a nice year. Wait, that sounds so final. Bye!